What's going on, guys? Out here, and welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of MyDriver career modes. Before you start this video, if you have not seen the pre-season video that I uploaded a couple hours before this one, I really do recommend you go see the pre-season one. Otherwise you will be very confused at what is actually happening with the grid and the drivers that are racing in this season 2. So I do highly recommend you go see that to actually get caught up on the driver transfers we now have in MyDriver for season 2. But apart from that, hope you guys enjoy. I just wanted to say before this episode started, just thank you guys so much for the support on the finale of season 1. It was absolutely awesome to see the amount of love for this series, and I really hope you guys are looking forward to season 2. So without further ado, let's get into the qualifying report for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
So after Q3 for the opening round in Bahrain, it's Hamilton on pole for McLaren Honda, continuing where they left off last season as the reigning Constructors' champions. Just 15 thousandths of a second behind him, though, is his rookie teammate Stoffel Van Dorn, who impressed in his first outing for the team as a full-time driver. The new all-German duo in the Prancing Horses locked out the second row as well, Vettel pipping Rosberg to third by a surprising 0.3 of a second, asserting the early dominance as the lead driver for the Scuderia. Daniel Ricciardo qualified in 5th for Red Bull, less than 2/10 off Rosberg's pace in the Ferrari, but aarava was a half-second adrift of the Australian in his first qualifying session for the Silver Arrows, starting the race in 6th. In 7th position comes Sergio Perez at a circuit he's had success at in the past, but the real surprise came from the Japanese rookie Matsushita, who masterfully drove the much-improved Manor to the 4th row of the grid, ahead of former Manor driver Pascal Wehrlein, who made the switch to Mercedes for this season and might be regretting it now. Rounding out the top 10, and the third rookie to make it into Q3, is the new Frenchman in town, Pierre Gasly, who should be ecstatic to be starting ahead of his teammate and both the Williams cars.
Right, so that's qualifying, and now it is time for the race. Round 1 of the MyDriver Season 2 career mode. We're here in 6th place, pretty okay qualifying position ahead of our teammate. It's going to be a 2-stop today according to our team, but I do remember from Season 1, lots of people did do a 3-stop, so that will be up for debate this race. But we're lining up next to Ricciardo. We go to 5 red lights for round 1 of Season 2 of this career mode, and we are off, getting a lot of wheel spin there. Perez on the left making a brilliant start. We've got a Manor looking down our right-hand side straight away, and then we've got Wehrlein also chasing on the left. We're going to try go down the inside. Bit of a lock-up from Rosberg there. We just managed to go down the inside of Ricciardo. He's had a very poor exit, as have I, really, to be honest, losing the back end there, but we keep it in 5th place, and now we're going to try and chase after that little pack ahead of us of Rosberg and Vettel and the 2 Mclarens. Behind us, we've got Perez and Ricciardo battling, going side by side behind us. But let's try and chase down Rosberg, and we do so later on into the race. We go towards the lap 3 now. Hamilton set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, flexing the muscles of that new McLaren car of his, and now we're chasing after Rosberg, but we've got Ricciardo right on our tail, as we can see him there. Sparks flying from Rosberg's car as he tries to have a look at Vettel there, and you can see I had to do a double lockup because Rosberg broke a little bit too early for my liking to turn 1. I'm not too sure if he was maybe crossed up behind Vettel, but it just seemed like he broke a bit too early, and so I had to double lock up to kind of avoid him. As we go into this next corner, you're going to see straight away again Rosberg braking a little bit too early for my liking. I almost hit the back of him, so I have to kind of steer wide. That allows Ricciardo to go side by side with us. A brilliant little battle straight away here, and on lap 3 with Ricciardo. He just managed to get ahead of us. We're going to maybe have a look down the inside to the hairpin. No, he does brilliantly to defend there. You can see he moved a little bit right just into the braking zone, but we've gone down around the outside of him, still side by side with Ricciardo. Brilliant battle here with the Honey Badger in the Red Bull, and we try and go down the inside. He's going to take a really wide line to get a good exit, and in hindsight I probably shouldn't try the same because I get a horrible exit going very tight into that hairpin corner. But now we've got DRS on him. Obviously lap 3's been enabled. We tried to maybe have a look down the inside, but we think better of it, and we stick behind him through the swooping left-hander. So Ricciardo's got us there. We have to settle for 6th place. We're going to hopefully come back at him through the final corner now, but we've also got our teammate Wehrlein right behind us as well, so that's going to be a bit of a worry. But we will have DRS and some good slipstream down this main straight, so let's see what we can do. Closing up to Daniel Ricciardo, right up his gearbox, move to the left-hand side of the circuit. He'll just about give us enough room, and we're up into 5th place, down to turn 1. The 2 Ferraris battling hard up ahead. We lose the back end, and there's been a crash up ahead. The 2 Ferraris, oh boy, and Hamilton has also had a crash there. There's been a huge problem there, and Ricciardo, we have to let him through. We've got a legal overtake on Ricciardo apparently. That's a bit stupid FIA, to be honest, because there was a crash there, so I think that's all fair game. But we're now down to 3rd place, and Ricciardo's up into 2nd, but in a split second this race has been turned on its head. The 2 Ferraris have crashed together, seemingly with Hamilton perhaps We saw them battling through turn 1 and then towards turn 2, and then that's where the crash happened, so I didn't quite see what's going to what actually happened into turn 2. So let's take a look at a replay of what went on. So we're on board right now looking at Hamilton in a third-person view, and he's going through into turn 1, seemingly no issues at the moment. We can see Van Dorn right behind him, only less than a second back, and the two Ferraris battling there. You can see one of them going for a move down the inside, but then here, oh look, Hamilton just slows down a lot. I wonder if he maybe got an engine issue or a puncture, and then there is Vettel hitting the side pod of Hamilton, and that obviously causes the pile-up that we saw there, and there we go, trying to overtake them all. So now let's go on board with Hamilton. Let's see what goes on. So all's fine right now in his world, but then there is a puncher on the front right, so that's very surprising. Big issue for them, and this is where Van Dorn comes through, obviously trying to maybe overtake Hamilton. He's not too sure what's actually happening at this point, and he gets really held up. Look at how badly Hamilton's positioning his car here, holding up his teammate, and then there goes Vettel, slams into the side of Hamilton there, and Rosberg's off on the other side, on the right-hand side, you can't see. And then this is the aftermath. Oh my god, look at the carnage Hamilton's creating there by going so slowly on the racing line. We've got Sauber, Toro Rosso, Renault there, going off into the wall. Absolute carnage there Lewis Hamilton's creating, and he's limping around the circuit right now, trying to get back to the pit. So now we cut onto lap 6, 2 laps later, and now Wehrlein is giving me some heat, and we've got Verstappen on the left-hand side also going. They both overtake me, go either side of me into the last corner. They overtake me, and I'm down to 4th place, but never mind, we're coming into the pit stop anyway, so my tyres were starting to go off, so I didn't mind too much. They overtook me on lap 6. We're into the pits now for another set of option tyres, but just showing that Wehrlein and Verstappen definitely not hanging around to overtake me here. But we're into the pits, set of option tyres now, so this is all confirming to us that we're going to go for a 3-stop, because we're going to go, we've gone 6 laps on the options. We'll go another 6 laps or 7 laps right now on these sets of options, and then probably around I would say 10 to 11 on another set of primes, and then 6 to the end. So 3-stop for us. It looks like Wehrlein might be going for the 2-stop. We'll see about that, and we'll see how Verstappen goes. But I believe Ricciardo had already pit ahead of me for option tyres, so Ricciardo is going on 3-stop, as am I. So I think it's probably going to be the best strategy. But now we come out of the pits on lap 7. You can see Matsushita in the Manor car up ahead of us, and that's actually a legitimate place. He has already made his pit stop, and he's legitimately ahead of us. Absolutely bonkers to see a Manor car ahead of us in a Mercedes, but that's just the brilliancy of MyDriver right now, that we can do the driver transfers and the different performances, and Manor getting a boost here, getting a bump, and Mercedes getting a nerf from last season. But it's now 2 laps later, lap 9, and we closed up to him right now, so let's try and see if we can maybe make a move into the hairpin. He's going a little bit slowly in the braking zone. We dive down the inside. He's going to stick it around the outside, to be fair to him, and I've really made the line tight for myself, so that didn't really help me out. So he stayed up in 6th place. So this is actually going to be a bit of a battle. It's not going to be, as easy as it was last season, indeed, trying to lap these Manor cars. They are legitimately quite fast in a straight line and pretty okay in the corners. So we've got DRS here. You can see I'm actually struggling to keep up with him, but now we go towards the final corner of the circuit, really closing up to him with the slipstream. Going to try and dive down the inside of this corner now. Can we get it? He's still going to stick around the outside. He's still got us for 6th place. It's absolutely awesome to see battling with a Manor car completely legit here. So now we've got DRS once more. This time hopefully we'll get him, and we do, and we're up into 5th place, and Matsushita had to settle for 3rd place now, as we're up into 2nd as people have made their pit stops. And you can see right there, Ricciardo is into 1st place. He's already made his pit stop well before we did, so just showing that I think definitely this is the way to go. The 3-stop seems to be working quite well. Ricciardo up in the lead right now with quite a few seconds ahead of me, so it's working out for him. So now on to lap 13, a few laps later. We're still in 2nd place. Ricciardo's still in 1st, but now Verstappen is in 3rd place, so he's overtaken the Manor car and he's getting a move on right now, and that begs the question where Wehrlein is in all that. I think he might be around 5th place there, but now we're coming into the pits for our 2nd pit stop, and this will be for the prime tyres. You can see there closely, just before we pan to this shot, that Ricciardo is also making his pit stop there. So I sort of mirrored Ricciardo's strategy and went the same lap as him, because I didn't want to lose any time on any sort of undercut he might get on us. So now we're both, I believe, on prime tyres. At least I am. I don't know about him, but I'm definitely on the prime tyres, the white wall tyres. They'll go about 10-ish, 11 laps-ish, so we'll have to see how that goes. But we're on lap 14, so we'll hopefully go to about maybe lap 22, 3, 4. We'll see about that. But as we come out of the pits, you can see the Manor and the Toro Rosso battling there, and we've got Magnussen behind us for good measure. We've got Sainz battling Matsushita. We've got a yellow flag there. What is that for? Oh God, there's a car on the left. It's a Renault. Look at Palmer. Palmer's had a huge crash there into the wall, and meanwhile, green flag, so we can try and overtake Sainz. We dive down the inside. He's maybe been caught napping here, trying to maybe look at the Manor car. We go side by side, make a little bit of contact there. He's still there. Just let me know he's still there. We go side by side into the swooping left-hander. He goes a little bit deep into that corner. We do the switchback, and now we're side by side again, but he gets the good traction there. Looks like the Mercedes this year really not great on the traction zone, especially the slow corners here at Bahrain. But now we'll get the DRS. We go to the outside of the circuit. Oh, so close on the outside. We swoop it around the outside, and we make a brilliant move for 9th place on the Toro Rosso there. And now we'll chase after that Manor car, but a huge crash for the Renault car, so we'll see what happened there. So this is Palmer. He's being chased down by Lewis Hamilton, who's now made his pit stop, and he's back up and running like normal. And here he goes down the inside of Palmer, makes a diving move there, quite aggressive. He goes side by side with Palmer here, and on the exit, does something happen? It looks like their cars have caught together, and that is a hefty impact there for Palmer. And that's completely wrecked his race. So aggressive from Hamilton, to be honest. You know, albeit their cars locked tyres, but to be honest, I think that's Hamilton's fault. He's really been too aggressive there, trying to get back into the race, as I'm sure he's eager to get back into it, but he really should have been a lot more cautious there. But now on lap 16, we got yellow flags right now in sector 2, and that's Matsushita going very, very slowly in the Manor. And that is, wow, well, that is an absolute tragedy, to be honest. It looks like he's got a huge issue, and he's being overtaken by Rosberg there, holding up a little bit. But that is actually a genuine tragedy. I'm actually quite gutted by that, because that would be quite brilliant to see a Manor get such high points in the first race here. Absolutely going. So he's got some sort of issue. We'll look right now on the replay camera to see what actually went on there. So he's going okay right now. He's all fine into sector 2 in a brilliant P5 or P6 was it. And then going through, he's got a puncher. What is it with Bahrain or this game in punches for the AI? I don't know if Pirelli need to look into it on this game, but he's got a puncher, as did Hamilton on the front right. So seemingly maybe Bahrain with some huge issues, or maybe these guys on 2 stops are just stretching their tyres far too much for the tyres' likings. But anyway, we cut onto lap 18 now. We're pushing really hard. We got Verline coming out on his second pit stop right now. So he's jumped ahead of us with the 2 stop right now. So that's a little bit of signs of concern. Looks like we might not have the pace to make the 3 stop work like Daniel Ricciardo might do. And now coming later on to lap 18, we've got Rosberg really up behind us right now. Really good pace, of course. He had that crash with Vettel, so he's coming back into this race. I think Vettel might be out of the Grand Prix, but Rosberg's still within the good points right now in P6, so he's going to try and maybe overtake me. We go through the last corner, cut the corner a little bit, on my bad, but Rosberg comes through now. He'll have DRS, and I won't have anything to defend from him. So here he comes down the pit straight. He'll swoop to the right-hand side of the track. I'll try and squeeze him to the right-hand side, but he's having none of it. He goes through into first place. We've got another car coming out the pits. That's Verstappen in the Red Bull, who's jumped us as well on the 2 stop here. So the 2 stoppers are really working well. We managed to keep ahead of Rosberg there as we get a bit of a tank slap on the exit, but now he'll come back at us with some good traction through turn 2. And will he go down the inside? Yes, he will. He's going to put up a fight here. We go side by side with Nico Rosberg yet again. We go through the swooping right-hand corner. He's going to squeeze us wide a little bit. We go onto the curbing there. Rosberg loses some traction on the exit though, so we'll have him even before the braking zone starts for that next sector of the swooping left and right. But now we cut onto lap 19. Rosberg's back at it again on the left-hand side. He's going to try and overtake us. He's actually ahead of us a little bit now as we go into the final corner. I try my best to put up a fight. We hit the curve very, very hard, but Rosberg just managed to keep it. I lose the back end, and that is pretty much a sign that our tyres are starting to go off here. The prime tyres really not working well right now as we're getting into that stage, the latter stage of the stint. But now we're coming back at him with some DRS. We do a bit of a fake on the left, swoop to the right-hand side, down the inside of Nico Rosberg, hit the apex pretty nicely, and we're back up into 4th place. Go very, very slowly on the exit, you can see there towards the left to cover him off. But now into lap 21, we just saw there's a look behind me. Rosberg's now into the pits for his final pit stop. So Rosberg on the 3 stop as well. Of course, he logically would be because he made that crash with Vettel early on and Hamilton. So he's pit right now. So hopefully he doesn't get an undercut on us, but that might be an issue for us. We're going 2 more laps to lap 22 to just ensure the option tyres at the end are at their freshest, because I don't want those to wear off, because that will completely shoot our 3 stop to absolute trash right now. At the moment, Ricciardo's behind us at the moment. I think he's already made his pit stop because he's really caught up to us now as we got later on into lap 22, the lap of our pit stop. We lose the back end completely on the exit, and it is for sure time to pit this lap as I completely lose all sense of grip there. Ricciardo comes through. He's definitely made his pit stop. I think he's on option tyres, and then here we come at the end of lap 22 onto our final set of option tyres. Ricciardo goes through in third place, but I think that'll probably be second or even first place because Ricciardo really has some good pace there, really making the three-stop work. But we're on our final set of option tyres now. Now, the question is, where do we come out? Where is Rosberg going to be? And is there going to be any other car that overtakes us there? We've got a car on the right-hand side there on the replay camera. I think that was maybe a Williams, perhaps. We'll have to see as we come through now out the pits. Button has overtaken us. Button is ahead, and there goes Rosberg. Rosberg has got the undercut on us, sorry, I should say, and he's up into 5th place. So we're in 6th place now, a lap later, chasing him down right now. But to be honest, look at the amount of time we've gained on these fresh option tyres. We are flying right now in this Mercedes car, closing right up to Rosberg. Every single bit of track, every single bit of corner, we're closing up to him right now. Look at the grip we've got through that corner compared to Rosberg now. So we don't have to be patient. We might make a move in the last corner, but we might have to actually be patient, just make it on the pit straight right now, and then we can worry about maybe getting that Williams of Button. So now we're through the final corner. Oh, so close. You could fit basically a little tiny ruler between our cars there. We're so close that now we'll have to settle for some DRS here on the main straight, but this is surely all said and done. Through up his gearbox with some slipstream. We go down the inside of him. We're going to actually make it just before the first turn, and we're up into 5th place. We go a little bit slower, go a little bit wide, and we'll make sure we get that on the traction there, and we're up into 5th place. But now we move on to our old teammate Jenson Button in the Williams. Thankful that he has not retired. He's stayed on in Formula 1 in his old team Williams now. But sorry, Jenson, there's not going to be any kind of nice guy about it, because you were my old teammate. We're going to overtake you as fast as we can here to maybe try and possibly get a podium here. I don't know how far the podium runners are ahead of Jenson, but we'll see what we can do. But coming through this corner left-hand side, you can see he's really locked up, lost a lot of time there through that mid part of the corner, so we're really catching him up. Now we'll get some DRS here. We've got a Manor car. I think he's for a blue flag here, so he won't be for position. So hopefully maybe he kind of slows down Jenson a little bit, but he might not be needed as we come through the swooping left-hander. We've really closed up. Look at the amount of grip we've got compared to Button on those prime tyres, right up his gearbox here. We'll just wait for the move to come to us, and there we go. Bang, squirt, and we're done. Up into 4th place. And now Ricciardo is in 3rd place. Ricciardo's 3rd. Verstappen, I think that was. Was that Verstappen in 1st? And then, I don't know who's in 2nd. Van Dorn, maybe? I don't know where Verline is in all this. We're going to look at a replay now of this is Stoffel Van Dorn seemingly in 1st place. And then there's Hamilton going slowly. This is a replay of earlier in the Grand Prix. And that is Van Dorn out of the Grand Prix. This is earlier on in the Grand Prix, the first stint. Hamilton, going so slowly, smashes his teammate out of the Grand Prix. And so that basically confirms to us Pascal Wehrlein is going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix. I thought it might have been Van Dorn up in 1st, but no, it's Wehrlein up in 1st place. That is absolutely bonkers. What a first race this has been for Season 2. What a weird one with both McLarens out. Maybe it was a good thing I jumped ship. We come home in 4th place there, just outside the podium. Unfortunate stuff. We could have maybe got that if we did the 2-stop, but brilliant stuff from my teammate Wehrlein to get a 1st place for my new team. But there we go, 4th place. It's going to be a bit weird to see me in Mercedes overalls. I'm not going to lie, it's going to take me a bit of a while to get used to that video right there of seeing me in Mercedes overalls. But here are the race results then. Wehrlein in 1st place, Ricciardo 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, and ourselves in 4th place. Rosberg gets 5th, Jenson Button drops down to 6th, though Rosberg actually just about managed to get him there for 5th place at the end. Perez in a brilliant 7th place, Valtteri Bottas in 8th. Romain Grosjean gets the first points for Manor straight away this season. You remember last season, Manor didn't score a point, so straight away the improved Manor gets 2 points there with Grosjean. What could have been if Matsushita didn't retire or kind of seemingly lost a lot of time there with that puncher. That would have been absolutely brilliant if he got into some high points. Unfortunate there. And then Ericsson rounds out the top 10 surprisingly with Sauber in 10th place there with 1 point. Kevin Magnussen just outside the top 10 though with a penalty, so he might have actually been into points, but the penalty got him there. And then Sebastian Vettel in 12th, 1 lap behind, seemingly never being able to recover from that crash early on with Hamilton. And Hamilton getting 0 points in this Grand Prix. Crazy stuff there. But guys, if you have enjoyed that race, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I hope you guys are pumped for Season 2. And this race was just a little kind of inkling of what we might get. An absolute crazy race. But the McLaren Hondas are so fast. So this race was really a crazy one in terms of seeing them both crash out. So it's going to be anyone's game, really. It looks like McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, if all of us have issues like this, it could be a very, very frantic season, like a 2010 real-life season almost, where you have five contenders right at the end. We'll have to see about how it goes for the rest of the season, but a brilliant way to start off the career mode for Season 2 of MyDriver. Anyway, guys, if you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I've been aarava. It's time to go to the final post-race interviews, but I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye.
So it looked like a fun race out there. It must be pleasing to see the car's improved pace compared to qualifying. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Really pleasing to see the car was a lot more stable in the race. The front end was actually a lot more responsive, so that was a little bit odd. So we're gonna have to talk to the guys back at the factory to actually figure out why that was. But yeah, for sure, really fun race actually. Nice to be battling Ferrari and Red Bull, which I didn't think we were going to be doing, and obviously with McLaren boys having a bit of an incident between themselves and some tyre issues. Really good for us today to get the points we did, and for sure it's a really promising start. I think obviously luck played into our hands a lot, so we can't really rest on the first result. We need to keep pushing for the next race, but yeah, all in all, enjoyable first weekend with the team.
I understand you took issue with Hamilton's driving out there today. Care to expand?
Yeah, well, you know, I think out there he was quite dangerous, to be honest. After you know, whatever happened with him and you know, Stoffel into the second corner. Obviously, me and Ricciardo got there a little bit later, so I haven't really seen anything. I need to watch it back on the TV replays back in the motorhome, but from what I could see, you know, he had some sort of an issue, and he shouldn't have been on the racing line where Sebastian came in, and you know, that could have all been avoided. And then afterwards, you know, from what it looked like, there was a bit of carnage behind me once we'd passed that area. So for me, I think that was a bit unnecessary. And then also, you know, shortly afterwards, after the first pit stop phase, I was catching the Manor car and the Toro Rosso, and then you see you know, just the Renault car of either Palmer or Magnussen just flying off on the left-hand side, you know, and you know, Hamilton, I think he was the one who caused that. So I think he was a bit too aggressive. I mean, you know, obviously being in the car last year, maybe with the pace they had in qualifying, he was thinking he should have been right up there, and obviously he was desperate to catch back up to the other cars. But that's no excuse to kind of, you know, just go out there willy-nilly and just, you know, crash someone off. So I just think maybe he needs to take a bit of a rain check. But honestly, obviously, I haven't seen it in the footage back, so I'm gonna have to see it back for myself. But at least from where I was sitting in the race, yeah, I think you need to be a bit more careful out there.
And even though you would have wanted it to be you up there, surely very positive signs for the season ahead, with your teammate finishing ahead of some very quick Red Bulls.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit gutted to not be on the podium myself today, but yeah, for sure, I am very happy for Pascal, and he's done really well. You know, his debut in Formula 1 to get a win, which is better than my debut was. So he's off to a flying start at the moment. So yeah, it's good to have a teammate that challenges you, and I had that with Jensen last year, and it's great to see that, you know, despite the fact he's a rookie in Formula 1, that he's giving me that challenge straight away. So, you know, props to him, and yeah, it does show the car does have some potential, and you know, to finish ahead of the Red Bulls. Of course, he had a really good strategy. I think today we made the wrong strategy call on my side of the garage for the 3-stop. I think the 2-stop was definitely faster, and we'll have to look back at that in the race data. But yeah, really happy that he has managed to get the win for us, and some really great points.
All right, thanks for your time, aarava.
All right, cheers.